It's always good this time of year to have a top 10 list, and then I have horses that could be on the top 10 list. So I actually got 15 horses. I have my top 10, and then 5 that are knocking on the door. A bunch more that just didn't race that great their last start, so they fell off the list. Now, Knockdown Drag Out, I'll let the cat out of the bag. She stayed on the list only because we all know how talented she is, and I had somebody say, I don't think she's that good. Trust me when I tell you, she is that good. We just have to get her head back in the game, make a few little changes, get back to the basics, and I think that Knockdown Drag Out will come around. She doesn't seem sore or tired to me right now, so it's just a matter of tweaking her shoeing, her equipment, and getting her head back in the game. So we're going to start right now. I don't think it should be a shock to anybody who number 1 is. Globetrotting. Globetrotting, her only 2 losses this year, she really beat herself. Nobody really beat her. She beat herself. She made a break at the gate. Both times made an incredible comeback to get money and looked fantastic. The big question going into the other day that I couldn't answer, and I had a couple of people ask me, were, do you think that last 3 quarters and 126 at Northfield Park took too much out of her? Do you think she'll be a little less sharp at Scioto? I couldn't answer that. I don't know. I know she answered that. Earplugs in, bow in her neck, 7-length victory, 56-2. By far the best looking horse. And that's not me being biased. That's just me being factual. By far the best looking horse.
Hey guys!
Ava, what are you doing? By far the best looking horse in Ohio right now. What's wrong, honey?
I'm in the wrong seat.
Oh.
Did you know that Ribfest has rides like the Zipper and the...
I don't know. If you get
like
in the
a
car,
pizza.
we'll get going soon. So globe-trotting, but we're going to Ribfest today in Guelph for a couple hours before I go to Georgian Downs. So globe-trotting, a dominating performance the other day. Ava, stop. And just a really, really good horse. Another horse that shook back out of that funk. For those of you wondering if the horses can race good, slide a little bit, and then come back alive. Look no further than the Spirit of Dio. How good was she the other night? First time she's ever left in her life, got away 4th, came first over. The filly I'm charging at, it's a $300,000, and it means nothing when they're racing that they're $300,000. She's a legit filly. The Who's Blues or Blues Clues or whatever her name is. She's a nice filly. Spirit of Dio raced very good. Just a quick math though, because it does matter sometimes. Who's Blues or Clues, whatever her name is, was 30 times more expensive than Spirit of Dio. I think it was okay. Anyway, Spirit of Dio raced awesome. Compass Rose DC continues to race good. I don't think she was awesome the other day. I think she was a little flat. I think she can be much better for the final of the Sire Stakes final, and I think Compass Rose DC sitting on a good mile. Capistrano still undefeated. We'll see if that streak continues tonight. She only got 2 starts. We've been very light with her, but she is sharp, and she is coming into the grassroots night at Hanover. Wasn't my first choice to race her there, but I think it made sense overall. And Capistrano is in tonight at Hanover. Canadian Titan continues to race good. 5 for 5 in the top 3. And looked good the other night, 2nd and 57 in a piece. Really, really good looking filly. Don't believe me, just watch. Continues to assault the grassroots division. 2nd and 53 the last start. He's going to race again a week from Monday. Kevin's done a great job keeping him fresh and keeping him sharp. Miss Brampton Beast coming in 2 wins in a row in 55. Last quarter in 28-2 last week, and looked really, really good doing it. She's racing tonight. Frontier Cruise, not only did he jump out of the sale, he jumped onto the top 10 list with a devastating mile. Great mile for this colt, the maiden. 56-2 last half, 56 flat. This horse did it all himself on the front end. So that goes to say his attitude's coming around, his work ethic's coming around. He didn't follow speed and get up and beat them at the wire. He commanded the lead, backed it off, and then accelerated the last half of the mile and looked really, really good doing it. Knockdown Drag Out comes in at 9, just because she's already made 19,000 and trotted in 55. We'll get her back and straight. And again, circling back to, can horses come back around? Is it too late in the year? Are they simply too tired? Look at Spirit of Dio. She come back around and look great. I think Knockdown Drag Out will be just fine in the coming weeks. And number 10, because she belongs on the list still, is Spend That Money. Spend That Money was 5th the other day. Yeah, she was 5th. Somebody said, well, time doesn't matter. You're right, time doesn't matter. But it does sometimes when you're looking at indicators. This is a filly that trotted in 58, then 2 minutes and looked bad, and then come back when we changed her shoes, changed her equipment. She come back and trotted in 157-2. closing in on the lead, and you say, well, 30 and some on the end of it. That's because they run the front end. It's not her fault that they get over the half in 56-4. If they don't get over the half in 58, I think it would have been the same result with a better last half. So Spend That Money was better. We're working on her allergies. We're creeping towards getting her proper and getting her right. We'll see if we can't get that done just in time for the $300,000 final next Sunday evening. Flies, go away from me. We had 5 horses underneath. I'll announce them also because they're worth talking about. Ale Sun coming off a victory in the Buckeye Series. Overdue Mission is the leader of the Buckeye Series, 3rd in her last race and looked great doing it. Need Your Opinion racing tonight. Kevin says she's sharp as a tack and sound coming in. Looks good. He believes he has her allergies under control. We can treat them a little easier here in Ontario because there's not so much of a dramatic withdrawal time for some of the medications used to treat that. And then we have Wiggle Delight, who's already taken a mark of 154 and looks great. She's racing in the grassroots tonight. Don't know how she'll get around the half, but I think she'll get around all right. And then also, we're looking at Path of Totality. Finished 4th, trotted in 156-2. Is a 2-year-old trotting filly. Last week at the Poconos, drew the outside 7-hole at the Meadows on Wednesday. But she's always looking to come forward, and I think this filly will do well on Wednesday and hopefully make the final of the Stallion Series. Anyway, that's the top 10 list. A little bonus coverage for 5 underneath, but a lot going on still. A lot of horses racing really well. Horses continuing to take lifetime marks at the Burn. Simply put, we had a great 2019. I'd love to close it off with a strong stake final finish for a lot of these horses. That remains to be seen. We do also have the Breeders' Crown still for a couple of them. Definitely looking at globetrotting right now. We will see how that develops over the next month also. So that's the top 10 list. We'll be back. All we got to do is talk about the babies. That's it. Just talk about the babies and we're all done. Be back in just a minute.